Thank you for joining me for another TV video interview. I'm here at the HP ZBook G1 Ultra Workstation launch.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, but it's a wonderful slim chassis notebook, and it's powered by the AMD AI Max Pro chip, which is the most powerful. With me, I have Pete Chambers. He has many hats, but he's also the country manager for Australia and New Zealand. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alex. It's great to be here.
Now, it was a wonderful launch. You actually gave a great presentation. I've got the entire presentation with your section at the end. People can watch that. I'll have that video in the same article that this video is in. But just briefly tell us about the Max Pro AMD AI chip and what makes it the most powerful that you've made for mobile devices ever.
Yeah, look, so we saw a great question. So we saw a lot of a gap in the market, right? Like people want performance on the go. We came out of COVID, everyone's realised they can work anywhere. Yeah. So the challenge has always been is to get that performance that traditionally has been in a workstation or desktop.
Stuck on a desk or under a desk, connected
you're tied
to a laptop.
down. How do we make that mobile? How do we give people that ability to get that level of performance when they're out and about? And so as we think about the Ryzen AI Max Pro product, we're bringing together multiple technologies in a single solution. So from a technology standpoint, we're going to have the Zen 5 core, so that same x86 core architecture that's leading in the cloud and in the data center, that same technology we're bringing into a mobile device with full AVX512 support, which is fantastic. We pair that with a 40 compute unit RDNA 3.5 graphics engine. What does that mean? We're getting discrete level graphics performance, but with the convenience of unified memory. What does that mean? It means that we can share up to 96 gigabytes of memory into that GPU, and there's a number of workloads that benefit from that. So that's unique as well, and certainly then we pair that with a 50 TOPS NPU. So for those that don't know, TOPS is trillion operations per second. NPU is a neural processing unit, so that's going to give you great AI experience. And so we bring all these technologies together to really deliver energy efficiency, performance on the go, and really steps up that productivity when you're out and about.
Yeah, we saw 3 demos here, which I have taken some video of. There was one that was a Formula One game inside of like a Formula One cradle. You're sitting in there and the joystick is rumbling, and it was a very smooth experience. Actually, I was impressed how well I could drive, even though it's obviously a simulation, and it's probably set to easy, but it was very cool. Then there was a demo of these 3D constructions inside of Autodesk, very smooth. Yep. And then also some number crunching in a desktop. And these things were all happening at lightning speed. So, I mean, we really do have this workstation level performance in a mobile device, which is a hallmark of the advancements of the 21st century. And it's only just the beginning as to what AMD's able to deliver.
We continue to innovate. And the important thing in all of this is it's not just about the performance, but how do you do it faster? Time is money, right? And so if you can complete tasks 20 minutes, 30 minutes faster than you previously could, that increase in productivity is tangible. And so that's another thing that we've really been focused on as we bring these products to market is, how do we get businesses to be more productive? The other point, just talking about some of the experiences we've had here today is the large language models. We're all talking about that. People want security, they want confidence, and they don't necessarily, they want the convenience of those large language models without sending their data to the cloud. And we talked a little bit today about security and privacy. And so with our product being able to allocate 96 gigabytes across to the GPU, we can run, we're running a 70 billion, one of the demos out there is a 70 billion model, Llama 3 model, LLM. And we're running that on the GPU, air-gapped. So anything that you're putting in there is completely secure. It's not going to the cloud. And you can take it anywhere on the go. You don't need to have an internet connection. So again, that convenience, that performance, but also providing a different experience. We've seen historically you can run, a 7 billion parameter model, a smaller model on the edge.
This is 10 times larger.
This is 10 times larger. And you can even go bigger again. And so, that again, bringing that level of performance into a mobile device is at the moment unprecedented.
And look, only a couple of years ago when ChatGPT burst on the scene and everything was going to the cloud, I mean, a lot of people were saying, well, eventually I want all this in my phone. I mean, today's phones can run, I don't know, much smaller versions. You've got Gemini Nano, it's probably only I don't know how many billions, a couple of billion or less parameters. But this is something that can run, as you were saying, a billion, 70 billion. And this is where we're going to see it's the whole centralization and decentralization thing all over again. I mean, now on an iPhone, you can do all the voice transcription directly on device. You used to have to go to the cloud, and we're seeing the same thing with AI. And I know that when Ryzen first came out, I mean, it made a huge wave. And I mean, we're now 8 years down the track, and the improvements are just mind-blowing.
Yeah, we continue to innovate. We continue to invest. That R&D cycle for us is incredibly important. I think we spent like $6.5 billion last year on R&D. And so making sure we're not just innovating today, but how we continue that process into the years to come is very, very important to us. We do not want to fall behind. But we see that demand from customers. Customers want us to continue to innovate. And we see it not just on the mobile devices, we see it in what we're offering in the cloud and the data center. If we think about our MI Instinct products that are driving AI in the cloud, and companies like Meta and Microsoft are utilizing that technology, we've moved on to a yearly cadence, an annual cadence with that technology as well. So all of this is being driven by customer demand. They want more performance. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I know that Ryzen on the desktop side and the mobile side has been really strong since launch. And again, we've seen some amazing advancements in the server space. I mean, the EPYC processors have just gone nuts because they have such greater power and efficiency and value compared to their equivalents. And but this is now in the workstation, in the commercial space. I guess there's the enterprise, government, and education. So you must be seeing a lot of pent-up demand to want to get this. I mean, this is going to be great news for the commercial market for AMD too.
Absolutely. And again, I think AMD's come a long way, to your point, in the last 7 to 8 years since we launched Ryzen, since we launched EPYC. Our brand equity has increased significantly. People want to test the product, engage with the product.
And so that's the thing, they test it and they get to see for themselves how powerful it is.
And frankly, that's why we talked about that today, right? One of our key takeaways, messages is, hey, try the product. And over again, when we do that, because people are, they stick with what they know, and people don't like change. And so by encouraging them to try the product in their environment, and literally we're just talking to some end users at the event just now, and they're like, yeah, we gave it to one of our engineers and he won't give it back. And so when you try the technology, you see the performance benefit, the productivity benefits, the energy efficiency, the battery life of the mobile products. It tells the best story. And as we talked today, we presented a lot of slides and a lot of charts, but ultimately the test of the product is in your environment, in your ecosystem, with your image, with your end users. And we love to work with customers with that. And to your point, that's been our focus. How do we get out there? How do we get customers testing the product? We know that when they do, they're delighted.
Well, we also know that, because you mentioned it before, that you'll be having a partner version of this media event a bit later on. So all your partners across Australia and New Zealand are going to actually know about all these latest developments. And so I guess speak to your local reseller. They'll be able to help you, and get one of these units into your hands. And I guess the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. Together we advance.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Pete Chambers, Country Manager for AMD in Australia and New Zealand, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Thank you, Alex. Cheers.
Bye-bye.